Okay, so this is a discussion that has been popping up a lot, right? Sisters who are leaving it a bit too late to start their journey of the pursuit of marriage. They're leaving it too late to start their pursuit of marriage. Um, and, let's discuss why this might be so. Generally speaking, we find that brothers are very eager to get married young, and sisters are not so eager. And generally speaking, they're okay waiting till they're like 24, 25 to really start to feel the urge, like, okay, I really need to get married now. It might be a thought that's like in the back of their head before, but it starts to get serious, like almost kind of like the urgency builds in when they're like 24, 25, 26. Why is this? I mean, I think because a lot of the times men, what's kind of motivating them is physical desire. Men are, living in this hypersexualized society. Brothers, sorry, are living in this hypersexualized society, and they want to avoid haram, and going out into the streets just to get a pint of milk has become a jihad, a battle, to not fall into sin. But sisters, they don't necessarily, they're not as affected by these physical, stimulants as much as young brothers are. So I think that's one reason that they're okay delaying it a bit. The second reason is because sisters are being provided for by their parents, by their father. So they kind of feel very like relaxed. My dad's providing for me. Men usually like, it's just a manly thing. You can't be like 20 asking your mum for like train money anymore. You can't do that. You can't be 20, 21, 19 even, to like 22, and you're asking my mum, can you like give me some money to go get something? It's like a bummy thing, do you get me? But for girls, it's like, it's daddy's little princess kind of thing, dad, like, can I get some money, to do this, to do that? So they feel like financially kind of a bit relaxed. So they're kind of like, I don't need to get married. But when they start reaching that age of like 24, 25, at that time, usually parents start to kind of get a bit retired or get old, and the financial burden kind of starts to pick up. Plus, when you get to that age, if you become a bit more of a financial burden as well, because your costs are a lot more. So it's kind of like, I need to get married and whatever. I mean, whatever. There's a bunch of reasons. There's a bunch of reasons. Some sisters are really on this career woman vibe. Like, let me build my career. Let me be, Miss Independent. They really want to pursue education, whatever have you. And there's nothing wrong with pursuing education. I think education should be pursued whilst you're married. But they have this concept that let me just make myself and then look to get married, and that's a problem. Okay. And I don't say that unrestrictedly, because it might not be a problem in some specific circumstances, but generally speaking, I've observed from my experience, and I've been doing this for just under a decade now, and I've come to know that, sisters, generally speaking, they really do find it hard to get married when they reach the age of 24, 25, 26. And the reason for it is as follows. Number one, guys, generally speaking, they don't want to marry women who are above their age, or even close to their age. This is not something that I personally necessarily agree with, but this is a reality that we're faced with. Okay? Brothers want to marry women who are younger than them. So if you've got a 24, 25-year-old brother, and the reality is that brothers do want to get married young, but they don't end up getting married till they're 24, 25. Qadar Allah, it just happens like that, yeah. He's looking for an 18, 19, 20-year-old, 21, 22 max. If he's 25, 22 like max, sometimes because of family pressure. And of course, this is more so the case in like the Pakistani kind of Bengali, like Indian community. I don't know if it's exactly the same in other communities, but right now I'm speaking more from the perspective of my own community, because I know that culture a bit more. Like, parents are really on this, like, no, my son will marry like a young girl, like 18, 19, 20. And it becomes a big problem, and sisters are really being sidelined due to their age. So we're faced with the reality of just the way things are. So we need to ensure that we protect ourselves and we don't fall into this kind of a difficult situation. Okay, because remember, you can't go and just find a guy from, you know, the bar. You know, that's haram. If you want to do things the right way, like sometimes literally just by, you know, hearing the age, whatever, it could make some people feel a certain way. I mean, that's why we set up a service like Sunnah Match, alhamdulillah, you know, to be able to provide sisters like this with alternatives. And alhamdulillah, we have, you know, like we recently have a sister who's like 30 plus and she's inshallah hopefully looking to get married to a brother, you know, on Sunnah Match, mashallah. So it happens. Like there are alternatives, but you want to keep your options wide. You want to keep them open. Do you see where I'm coming from? Also, the Prophet ﷺ, as we mentioned, encouraged, you know, the youth to get married young. So it's something that really is important. And sisters, well, you know, when you grow older, you really become set in your ways. And when you become set in your ways, it becomes hard to adapt to someone else. But when you get married young, you're still flexible. There's still that ability to mold yourself into your partner, both of you, to just kind of mold and fit in together, because you haven't been the way that you are for so long. But when you reach that 25, 26, 27, it's kind of like, this is me now. And when you marry him, he's like, it's me now as well. Do you get me? And there's going to be a lot of bumping heads. There's going to be a lot of bumping heads. I mean, I know for example, because when I got married, like alhamdulillah, I actually, you know, my wife, she's actually older than me. So I was married when I was 23 and she was 26 years old. She was 3 years older than me. So like I know that, you know, we were both pretty set in our ways. So it took us a while to kind of just, you know, like, I mean, to be honest, yeah, I mean, it took us a while. It took us a while to really kind of just, you know, mold into each other, because it's hard. Like you've been this way your whole life. But you know, if you got married when we were young, like 18, 19, like it's just nice, you know. I've seen brothers and sisters get married at that age. They really, really just mold and gel right into each other's like personalities and whatnot. And they have an amazing relationship. They get to be young parents. They get to really raise their kids in a really nice way and whatnot. I mean, the discussion is a big discussion, but generally speaking, I really think sisters should be really looking to get married young. That's, you know, they should really be looking to get married young, inshallah ta'ala. That's not to say sisters who are old can't get married. We're just saying I mean, the reality is, in our community at the very least, it's a bit harder. So you don't want that. And then imagine, you know, that first year when you actually start, okay, 25, if nothing happens, okay, now you're 26, okay, now you're 27. It's really sad to say, but it's the truth. It's the truth, you know. Like I said, I don't have an issue with it. I disagree with this concept, but it's a reality. But you kind of save yourself this headache by pursuing this at an earlier stage. Assalamu alaikum, guys. Now that you know what to look for in a righteous spouse, all you need to know is where to find this righteous spouse. And we identified that would be a problem in our community. We struggle to find the right person in the right way. That's why we at the Knowledge College teamed up with Sunnah Match. Sunnah Match is a matchmaking service where it provides matches in accordance to the Sunnah, meaning everything is done in a 100% halal process. And I'll be honest with you, I haven't seen any other service that's matchmaking for Muslims that provides their service in such a halal way in accordance to the Sunnah like this. That's why it's called Sunnah Match. But not just that, it's also because the matchmaking process helps to filter out people who are not in accordance to the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So if you're a person who's on the path of the Salaf, aspiring to be on the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and you want to find the right person in the right way, then Sunnah Match is definitely the place to go. So, inshallah ta'ala, if you want more information, please go to the link below, inshallah ta'ala. They're accepting registrations and sign-ups for the profiles right now. So make use of that opportunity before it closes. Barakallahu feek. Assalamu alaikum.